Hey guys, it's Joe. Welcome to the Resto Druid Spells and Glyph Guide. This is just a quick overview to show you what you can expect when trying to heal on a Resto Druid in the midst of Pandaria. Bear in mind this is currently beta footage, so things can change. Do stay tuned to the end of the video where I will link a hub where you can go and check all the other classes and specs in the next expansion. First off, let me just say we're going to go over the very basics of Resto Druid healing. We won't be going over theory crafting or rotations. This would be just the spells specifically for restoration, as well as some of the glyphs and how they alter those basic spells. Most Druid healing is heal over time spells. This is your most basic with Rejuvenation. This is an instant cast that heals the target over a period of 11 seconds. Now in conjunction with Rejuvenation, we have Swift Mend, which you have to have a rejuve or a regrowth on the target to actually activate. This spell initially hits the target for a big heal. As well, it heals additional targets within 8 yards over a 7-second period of time. As stated previously, you can use Swift Mend with a regrowth. Again, like the Swift Mend, it does hit for an initial big heal, but then it heals over time for another 6 seconds as well. Additionally, there is the Glyph of Regrowth, which increases the critical strike chance by 40%, but takes away the heal over time aspect. The only problem with Regrowth is it has a very high mana cost, so you won't see yourself using it too often. This is why I chose to show you Swift Mend off of a Rejuve, because Rejuve being instant is probably the scenario you're going to use it more often. Now there is a passive state where you can really take advantage and use the Regrowth at that point. It's called Omen of Clarity. You'll hear it proc here called Clear Casting. That will give your next spell, including the Regrowth, no mana cost. That way you're able to take advantage of the regrowth without having to pay the price for it. Speaking of expensive heals, we have Healing Touch. This is the Druid's direct healing spell. This one heals a target for a large amount, but it does cost a lot and does have a long cast time. To that end, most Druids do use it in conjunction with a talent called Nature's Swiftness, which is a cooldown that makes the next cast instant, so you can use that Healing Touch as basically your emergency heal button. Now we have one of the more powerful weapons you have in your arsenal called Life Bloom. This heals a target over time for 14 seconds, and once that expires, it gives a really big heal at the end. The nice thing about Life Bloom is it stacks, so you can have up to 3 of them on a target, increasing the amount that it heals. To avoid having to use 3 different global cooldowns to apply that, there is a new glyph called Glyph of Life Bloom. That transfers the 3 stacks that you already have on a target to the next target that you apply Life Bloom to. There is also the Glyph of Blooming, which decreases the heal over time aspect of the spell by 5 seconds, but increases the big heal at the end by 50%. Next we have Nourish, which doesn't heal for a ton initially, but does heal for 20% more if the target has a Rejuve, a Regrowth, Life Bloom, or Wild Growth effect on it. Additionally, Nourish also refreshes the heal over time aspect of Life Bloom, resetting its 15-second duration. Its biggest downside is it has a long cast time. However, that can be circumvented with a glyph called Glyph of Rejuvenation. This reduces the Nourish cast time by 30% if you have Rejuvenation on 3 or more targets. Speaking of hitting multiple targets, we have Wild Growth, which heals up to 5 party or raid members within 30 yards. Again, it does heal over time for nearly 7 seconds, but it has an 8-second cooldown, and it does take quite a bit of mana. While Moonkin have been familiar with the availability of wild mushrooms, they are now new to Restoration in Mist of Pandaria. You place the mushrooms on the ground and then you hit Wild Mushroom Bloom, which causes them to explode and then heal, hitting all targets within 8 yards. Here you can see the versatility of the spell. Depending on how your group is split up for a raid perhaps, you can spread these mushrooms out, putting them in different groups and then hitting explode and healing them all at one time. Now, while Tranquility is not specific to Restoration alone, the passive Malfurion's Gift is. This reduces the cooldown of Tranquility down to 3 minutes. Last 2 passives I want to bring up here are Living Seed, which plants a living seed on the target. When they are next attacked, the seed will bloom and they will be healed by it. The other is your mastery called Harmony, where your direct healing is increased by an additional percentage for 20 seconds. And you want to try and keep that up as often as possible, obviously, to increase your healing. Finally, the last spell I wanted to show you is Symbiosis. Now, this is not exclusive to Resto, but the effects that you get from it, however, are. This spell gives your party member a Druid spell, as well as you get one of their spells in return. In this case, it's a priest, so I'm going to get Leap of Faith. To save on time, I'm just going to demonstrate this one. I'll put a link below in the description that shows you all the other skills that you can get from the other classes. Alright guys, that's it for me. Hopefully you enjoyed this guide. For more great guides on the other classes and specs, in the upper left hand corner there is a link to the hub centralized over on WoWHobbs channel. Please check it out. For me, being I have so many alts, it's a very good resource. Maybe it'll help you out as well. Also shown as some of the other content on my channel. Please feel free to check those out. And definitely like, comment, and subscribe on this. Thanks guys, and take care of yourselves.